Alrighty, this is Travis Wayne Goodsell. It's after 4. It frosted over with last night's rain, so I decided I'll just use this as my day off because it's actually good for the muscles to take a day off here and there rather than running constantly each and every single day. And no, it does not prove that the Sabbath day is established by God and that it's... You guys don't know how to be sound. Because first of all, when you look at history, Jesus never established the Sabbath day to be on Sunday. Never. Not in there. He always practiced the Sabbath day on the Jewish Sabbath day. And it was Constantine that changed it to Sunday. And then traditional Christian practices took away the celebration of the Saturday pre-day for the Sabbath, because most Christians in the beginning didn't want to have a different day for the Sabbath. They were still practicing it on Saturday. And so over time, they eventually grandfathered them out of it. But the Jews, they got theirs from Babylon. That's plain as the... I don't know. Maybe people's noses on the end of their faces aren't as plain as day. But, yeah, there was no House of Israel Sabbath. The Sabbath that was practiced by the House of Israel, and thus Egypt, was any day you wanted. You didn't have to have a special day set aside for God. Every day was a special day for God if you wanted it to be. But most of the time, you could only bring offerings when you had harvest time. And so it was usually around the harvest, depending on the crop, when you could go in and submit an offering. Yeah, that's when the sacrament was performed originally. Jesus did not institute that either. The Egyptians did. Alright, so let's get to comments, and then we'll tally up the number of Mormons who need to leave the church, because that's the deal. If you can soundly argue in defense of the church, I will stop criticizing the church in my videos. And if you can't, you have to leave. That's the deal. And there is no option. You have to leave. Because what you're doing is destroying America, destroying the world, destroying Utah, destroying your communities. And the reason why is because it's not Jesus's church. And if it's not Jesus's church, then whose church is it, Mormons? Exactly. You have been influenced by Lucifer. And as a result, you're influencing the rest of us on Luciferian doctrine. That's why you're destroying us. And you need to be stopped. The church needs to be stopped. And so, that's the arrangement. You know, no more abuse. You know, again yesterday, an elderly man, and it was sort of not understood what he was being arrested for, but it had something to do with little kids. And so there's a concern that it was sexual in nature. So, and I see one person replied to that, so we'll get to that here. So, I understand that Russian trolls are still attacking us, and I understand that it may be all Russian trolls who are putting the thumbs down, which also count against Mormons. which means Russians hate you Mormons. They do not like you. You are not their church. The Russian Orthodox Church is their church, and they don't like you. That's why they arrested the Mormons. I haven't heard much since then when they got arrested. They were making arrangements to release them, but I haven't heard about the release since then. But I don't go to the Deseret News. The Mormon propaganda press. Mormon TV. Mormon press. And no, it's not a good thing to have a monopoly on the press. It's a bad thing. That's a Luciferian doctrine. So that's part of the corruption of the world, is a doing away with a free press. And so yeah, Trump, it's bad guy too. You are Republican, right? You voted for Trump, right? If you're the Church of Lucifer and you voted for Trump, guess what that means? It's real simple. All right. Okay, so yeah, Russians hate you guys, and so they may be blackballing you to make you look bad. But I can't do this forever, because eventually evil will start to turn my turnaround back on to me, as they think. They'll start using it as a token of not bravery, but a token of status, to say, yes, I defied Travis by putting a thumbs down, and I'm proud of it. See, people are going to start wanting to put a thumbs down eventually. So I am aware of that, and this is only going to happen until conference. And then I'll have more fodder for the fire with conference talks. All right, the first one, C. David, replying to my first video on commenting on It's Me Jesse's video about LDS secrets, Freemasonry, occult, and Satanism, and blah blah blah. I didn't put the exact title. I was hoping to get some of her viewers towards me, and that didn't really work as well as I was hoping. But thanks, Jennifer, for trying to help me. This was a variation of her idea. Okay, C. David. Too many conspiracy theories on Masons. First and foremost, C. David, a conspiracy theory are two words that have been united together to mean something bad. That is wrong. That is part of the problem in our society. We change definitions, and we make good things bad and bad things good. A conspiracy means that more than one person is working together to do wrong. A theory is a scientific process, not an opinion process, a scientific process whereby one tests a suspicion based on gathering of evidence in order to establish what the facts are. So the Mueller investigation, for example, it was not a witch hunt. They needed to find out, was anybody in the Trump campaign conspiring with Russia to rig the election? It's that simple. If Trump's innocent, Trump's innocent. If Trump's guilty, Trump's guilty. But you need to test you have to have a theory test after all the evidence is gathered. If you have Trump unwilling to give up the evidence, and you have Trump trying to obstruct the gathering of the evidence, and you have Trump trying to obstruct the release of the theory, it's very clear what's going on. There is no witch hunt just to find out the truth. Now, if we get Mueller's report and it says that they were making up facts, and it says that they were not doing scientific tests to establish what those facts from the evidence are, then yes, we can then call it, hey, that's a witch hunt. You can't do that. But if it says, no, Donald Jr. and Jared Kushner met with Manafort with the Russians in Trump Tower, that's the evidence. You don't do that. That's a conspiracy. This is election time. You need to stay away from foreign government influence on the election. It's that simple. You don't say, oh, well, we can get help from any source we want to rig the election so that we win. No, you can't. You can't go out and lie to people about the other candidate. And so it's the same practice with everything in life. And now he says, I don't believe Jesse has the symbols correct. And you're probably right on that, C. David. Pentagram is the symbol for Christ or followers of Christ. Possibly. I would have a hard time arguing for that. Upside down pentagram is demonic. See, it's a 5-pointed star. And in that 5, there's symbolism. And yes, pointing up versus pointing down also has symbolism. Sky, earth. You don't automatically assume God, devil. That's a later creation of the devil being in the underneath us. It's difficult that people could come up with such an idea that the devil is beneath us. What do you mean beneath? He's under the earth? So it's just absurd, the changes that were made to the symbolisms. But nevertheless, that's what they are now. Let's see, he then goes on to say, fact is, most Christians were Masons in 1830 and 1840. Yeah, even before 1830. Not so much at 1830 to 1840. That was sort of on the hush-hush because of the 1826 anti-Masonic movement. So most Christians were Masons before 1826. Because that's why everybody was moving to Western New York. That was the great fever pitch. You know, oh, a new Masonic temple is being built in Western New York. We're moving. So that's how Brigham Young got out there, and Joseph Smith family got out there. It was all because of new Masonic temples being built up. And yes, Christians were in it. Jews were in it. Others were in it. You know, anybody can go. It was a club. It wasn't a religion. But you can use your religion in the club. And then the club had rituals, like a religion, but it wasn't religious. But you could use your religion in the club, which for Christians, they use the King James Bible. For Jews, they use the Torah. And even Islam, they could use their Quran. It didn't matter. At the lower levels, everyone was welcome. But then you had to prove yourself loyal to move up in rank. Most members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints came from the Christian community, thus most were Masons. It is believed the early ceremony symbols originated from masonry symbols, but the message is not the same. Okay. The reason was most members understood the symbols. The church later changed some symbols because their understanding was lost, as most members don't belong to the Freemasons in modern day. Yeah. That's understandable. As to your comments on the 14-year girl, fact is the average age for marriage in 1840 was 16, and marriage was based on maturity. Doesn't matter. That wasn't really accurate. People still waited. And so, sorry. Looking at my genealogy during that time period on all the various lines, no, it was not 16. It was not 14. They actually waited later. After 18, sometimes into 25. So, no. No. Do your history. I agree that, see, it doesn't justify Joseph Smith cheating on his wife, though. So, you don't, it's not a fact. Don't throw facts in where they're not really a fact. Okay, I agree that primary source is important, such as the journal of the 14-year-old girl who gave no malice towards Joseph Smith even when she was old. Fact is, there is no evidence she consummated that marriage, and she continued to go to dances after the temple ceiling. You're missing the point. She's writing about this after the fact, after Joseph died, after Brigham Young established polygamy. The whole journal is in question. And that has to be taken at that value, because which leads some historians to suspect he was only married to her for eternity and not for time. No, they didn't do that. That was a later establishment in the Brighamite Church long after Brigham was dead. They do not do it for life in the early church. It was always a spiritual marriage for the eternities. And so, yeah, he says eternity and not time, but no, eternity is time. Time is not eternity. So, man, you can't let these little errors creep in. And these errors are not his making, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that he's trusting other sources who are making the errors and perpetuating them onto others. Meaning for those that don't understand our doctrine, he's now Mormon. He's trying to apologize. Eternity means next life after we die. Duh. You didn't need to put that in. Time is only for this life. Yeah, but you missed the whole point when you said he was only married to her for eternity and not time. See, Emma Smith was married for eternity. And so, what are you trying to argue here? You're not looking at the big picture. You're not putting all of the context in. You're leaving things out. For men with earthly wisdom and can't believe in the next life, Joseph Smith didn't have that many wives or secret marriages. It wasn't that many. Any historian knows there is an antagonist and protagonist source. Not biased interpretation looks at non-biased interpretation looks at both. And you've oh man. Alright, we have to comment. I was wanting to let this go. See, David, thank you for commenting. However, you missed my video series on polygamy. You are missing out on much information and leaving out much context. And thus trusting in the misinformation of others. For example, I recommend going back into your own genealogy to learn the ages of your ancestral matriarchs, to learn their ages when first married or the conception of their first child, if they were too poor to pay for a marriage. Because, yes, looking at my history, there were a lot of my ancestors who had children before getting married. And that's why, is because they couldn't pay the church for the official marriage. That's why Joseph Smith eloped. It wasn't just because her father didn't like Joseph. Joseph was poor. He couldn't pay for it. And so, even though it's typical for the woman to pay for it, even back then, when you're poor, you do other things. Okay. Okay. Jennifer. Dun, dun, dun. Aww. Travis Wayne Goodsell, I couldn't watch all your videos if I tried, but I'll look it up. In regards to the Cookie Monster ate it, so no, I cannot sing. You're awesome, Jennifer. Okay, Christina, the woman who's being tortured by the church and won't leave. And so she keeps coming onto my channel commenting about how she's being abused by the church and is not capable of making the leap to just get away, sever the chains that bind you down. And so here she says, why are so many sexual predators coming to the Mormon church? They're not coming to the Mormon church. They were born and raised in it. That's the culture of abuse of the church. When you repress sexuality, it leads to sexual deviance. It's that simple. And this is taught to them by the religious leaders. The religious leaders are to blame for all these sexual deviants who are Mormon, whether it be a regular Mormon or a Mormon in a position of religious authority. So we'll do a quick reply. You assume sexual predators are coming into the church when the reality is that the leaders are teaching Mormons to be sexual predators. Just do what I told ya. Alright. Denying our sexuality rather than proper teaching of sexuality results in deviant behavior. Okay, here's somebody new and without a face, and so is this a Russian troll or is this a legitimate person who for some reason can't use their phone to take a picture of themselves and identify themselves with a proper name as well? They're calling themselves Identity Lore, all in capital for the lore. And so LDS Mormon Danite Resurrection with Des Nat. So again, I'm already, red flags are going up all over the place. This is an older video that somebody is now doing, and we just had Trump use his attorney general to clear him of all wrongdoing with 37 indictments so far. And then all of a sudden Mueller just up and quits when there's more to be done. They obtained more evidence with Roger Stone's capture and indictment. They had more indictments for those who were lying to Congress. Over 80 different transcripts from 80 different people. What's going on with those indictments? Like Roger Stone was arrested for lying to Congress as part of it. So, yes, I'm concerned this guy's a DesNat sympathizer. But let's find out. We don't want to prejudge now, do we? What? Oh my God. He's advertising. This is clickbait. He says Columbia University wants to hear your opinions in a study called Understanding Worldviews and Stress Management. You may qualify to take part in this online survey if you are at least 18 years old, reside in the United States, and are able to read and respond to the questions on the survey. Participants who fully complete the survey may opt to take part in a raffle for a $50 Amazon gift card if they enter an email address at the end of the survey. He actually puts a link here, and so yes, it's gone. Bye-bye. Nobody's going to be putting scam material on my thing. And so yes, we're banning you, not just removing your comment. Oh my God. Columbia University. Yeah, I'm sure that's legit. I'm not even gonna click on it. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Use your own site for that. Okay, another old video. Somebody's finally getting around to it. And Deborah Roy. So she could be an elderly woman and who doesn't know how to take a picture. But she comments on my Book of Mormon brass plates found. Proves LDS Mormon Church false. And she says, Jay Smith was just a common scammer. He told so many lies that can be absolutely proven. Now again, these aren't people supporting the church. This is a woman who's against the church, but she's arguing unsoundly in defense against the church. It goes both ways, people. And so I'm not tallying the unsound arguments from critics. That's not the point of the contest. But just so that you know, if you're a critic, you also have to be sound in your argument. You can't be unsound. You can't just say, those Mormons are dumb. You have to have something to back it up with. You know, or liars in this case. We might have to do two separate videos, one for comment replies and another one for the tally. Okay, here's LDS Church Exodus Watch and comment replies, plucking off Mormons one by one. Okay, for sale it. That now concerns me. What are you selling? And he starts off, or she starts off, because it's a couple in the picture, or maybe you're the mother or the father of one of your children, or maybe those are your children, and who knows? That always frustrates me, especially on a dating site. Some girls clarify, yes, we're both looking for somebody to share. But for the most part, it's usually one of the women, and it's usually the older one that you... Let me just say that the person that they're posing with is usually the one that most people would select over her. And so she's purposely doing that as a trap. So that you go in thinking, oh, I'm going to get together with the one person that I really want. And you find out, oh. And so you realize you've been deceived. And so, yeah, that type of woman is not the woman you want to be with anyway. You don't want somebody who's trying to deceive you. And so, yes, in the first time dating, everybody's deceiving each other. And which means we never should get together. If you can't be yourself from the beginning, then why are you ashamed of yourself? Why are you hiding who you are? So, all right, anyway, what are you trying to sell me? He reveals his name. Good. So it's the guy in the picture, I'm assuming. Good morning, Travis. 2 commas. I'm Jason Gaba. I watch some of your videos. You're intelligent and perceptive. Don't flatter me. I do not do well with flattery. You already have sale in your channel title. And so now you're trying to say that I'm intelligent and perceptive? I'm concerned, and I'm suspicious, and I'm putting up defense barriers because you're trying to flatter me. If you start off by saying, I watched this video where you talked about such and such and came to the realization or the conclusion or whatever that this was the case, then you can then go on to say, that was very perceptive. Then I can say, okay, you're not flattering me. You're actually trying to point out an area of which you then consider intelligent or perceptive. But he's not. He's just going right to, I've watched some of your videos, intelligent, perceptive. I don't care. You can compliment me all you want. It's flattery, and I don't take kindly to flattery. So all you Russians out there, I don't take kindly to flattery, and I know that's your tactic to get in with people. And so if this guy is a legitimate person, I too will not take kindly to this. But now he's going on to the reason why, which you didn't need to. You could have just gone straight to, I have a daughter. That's all you needed to do. I don't need your puffery. Just get right to the point. He says, I have a daughter who is LDS and is on a mission ATM. At this moment, I'm assuming. I don't know text lingo. I downloaded the online interpreters, but I have not gone over them to memorize them and utilize them. So I have to go by assumptions here. I have never met her. Oh, okay. So who's the woman you're with? Is that your second wife after divorce? So I'm wanting to be fully prepared to speak with her at the proper time. I am not LDS. Yeah, I got that. Just a humble man. Don't call yourself humble. We will figure it out by the manner in which you speak and act and behave. If you prove to us that you're truthful, then yeah, you're humble. Who believes in Jesus Christ. You had mentioned the Egyptians had similarities to the formation of Jesus and such. See, he's listening, but he's not understanding. Wanting to know your truth about him. My truth? That's Christian speak. I don't like posting on here. Fine enough. Was hoping you would write back with me personally. See, he's for sale, and he's flattering me, and now he's trying to empathize by saying, I have a daughter who's LDS, and I'm not LDS, and he wants to talk to her, but then he's wanting to learn about Egyptian. So he's not getting to what he's really wanting from me. And that concerns me. See, you cannot flatter me. That's why red flags go up. That's why walls go up. And so everything you say otherwise are taken under that critical eye. You cannot fool me. And now he has to say he's a good person. I'm a good person, seeking just the truth. Could you please help me with that? See, he's throwing in, help me. Which is a tactic that people are told when they're trying to sell something to use. Because that's supposed to get our heartstrings. Oh, I'll help you. And he says he has an email, and he's using AOL. Nobody uses AOL except maybe in Russia. AOL was the old dial-up. It's been proven a joke. Or any other way. Thank you for your time. And so, no, you need to do more research. I'm already instructing people. So, go to my website. Three people replied to him? This is the problem of waiting all day and all night to then finally get to your comments. Oh, Johnny Phoenix. Talk to an active Mormon if you want to know the truth. Johnny, you were banned. Go away. You are not allowed on my channel, Johnny. No one is stuck anywhere. The church is awesome. He's a Russian spy, by the way, if you didn't know. What are you doing? YouTube's programming. Don't worry, Naomi. I took care of him. For sale it. Johnny Phoenix is a Russian troll. And I won't let him in on it unless he listens to this video. Johnny Phoenix is a Russian troll. Stay away from him. He has many channels and has to keep being banned by me. new channel he trolls me and others with. Just go to my website for further information if you really are interested. Then over time, if you still need to talk, I'll consider it. Good luck with your daughter. Good luck with your daughter. Let's see. Further Egyptian, or further information on Egyptian. Let's specify. I'll soon be readjusting my website with to include more Egyptian stuff. Okay. See, I was being nice to him, not to Johnny. But yeah, see, this is just the theory test that I'm doing. Do you see how this works? I'm already suspicious by the evidence of his text, his comment, but I need to test it to confirm it as a fact. That's what I've done with other Russian trolls. As I'm commenting and I'm saying, I'm testing them out and saying, you sound like a Russian troll. And then I eventually get them to confess, I'm going back to my country. I hate it here. Gotcha. So that literally happened. He would never admit that he was Russian, but then he went and finally ended his conversation with me with, I hate it here. I'm going back to my home country. So apparently he is in America as a Russian plant. But that's how you do it. That's how you confirm things. You run a test. So at least for sale, it is trying to get to me. He's kindly saying, Johnny, I'm not interested in your church. But he makes the mistake of saying your church's truth. And no, it has no truth. Don't say that. So, all right. And then there's Johnny Phoenix. And yeah. God. Samson? Pfft, you look more like King Noah. You spelled Samson wrong, first of all. And how do you know who King Noah looks like, other than Arnold Freeberg's impersonation of him? Or, what, is it impersonation or impression? So let's make sure you're all gone here. Okay, he is. What the? So much advertising to other stuff. Okay. For sale it, and he replies to Johnny's. Okay. So Johnny deleted his other stuff, or at least he's gone because I banned him. Alright, good. Okay. LDS Mormon Church Temple Crisis, another old video. And it's from Blizzard. And at least they have a picture of tulips, yellow tulips. I can't quite tell the type of flower, but okay. So he's commenting and saying, there is indeed a crisis in the temple. The endowment ceremony itself contains a pact with Lucifer. I will go over that. I will test it to find out if he is correct with his assumption. He's wrong. But I will go over the actual evidence and test it. I will show you through a video series. Okay, so again, critics, you have to be sound. Find the temple text, then you can comment on it. But don't comment based on your religious beliefs. You got to step back from your own religious beliefs in order to see clearly the beam in the other person. If you know the scripture passage I'm referring to. See, if stupid Mormons, you unsoundly made that conclusion. It may be true, but you were unsound in the conclusion. Because you said the endowment ceremony itself contains a pact with Lucifer. Therefore, if stupid Mormons, or Mormons are stupid, improper. You have to have more in the premise to lead to the conclusion that Mormons are stupid. See? Everybody needs to learn sound argument. All of those who voluntarily put on the Masonic apron enter into this pact with Lucifer. The apron, if you listen to the ceremony, is used by Masons, yes, and it may be why Brigham Young was all excited to use it, maybe. But do you listen to the text as to why it's being used? It's connected to the religion. This is different. In Freemasonry, they're priests of the Solomon Temple. And the ritual ceremony has to do with being a priest of the Solomon Temple. And the ritual that's performed has to do with searching for the murderer of Hiram Abiff by the priests of King Solomon. So they're different. Okay. See here, Mormons get the apron to cover their nakedness, as Adam received an apron. Adam and Eve received aprons when they found themselves naked in the Garden of Eden, as Lucifer had indicated to them in the creation story, or the fall story rather. Garden story. And so different. They're paying attention. Mormons are the most gullible fools. Yeah, you just revealed yourself. You're projecting. See, when you make an unsound argument, you are now projecting. That is confirmed by continuous theory testing. You have revealed yourself as being the gullible fool. this earth has ever seen, and this church is nothing but a fabricated Masonic Luciferian cult operating under the guise of Christianity. These are works of men. Okay, so he's edited it. Older comments. Come on, I did not. What are you doing? Reading other comments. 'Attention critics of LDS Church. I'm trying to help Mormons understand the need to use sound argument to defend their church, and if they can't do that, then they must leave their church. This practice still needs to be utilized by you as well. If you have a criticism, that's fine, but be sound about it. And it's just in the comments, and so, well, I don't know. On other places, YouTube puts the person of the video's comment always at the top, but I don't know if they do that with mine. Let's clear the notifications because we're nearing the end. And seeing another comment there from Blizzard. I may have to delete him anyway. Oh, okay. Here we go. So this one's okay still. Good find. Keep exposing these frauds in every possible way. So he's looking at more of my stuff and he's going, okay, I can relax. So, yeah, to his detriment, though, I'm going to be pointing out that it's a different evil than what he was expecting. Oh, okay. LDS Church Secrets available online. This was for the temple thing, which he then commented previously. You can go to WikiLeaks and download the 1968 and 2006 versions as well. I don't need to go to WikiLeaks. Well, WikiLeaks or Mormon Leaks? Which are you referring to? Because I've tried to go to WikiLeaks and they weren't letting me go anywhere. This may have been the time where what's his name was being chased around the world and stuck in Argentina, and so nobody was really working on the site. But yeah, I could never figure out how WikiLeaks worked to read things from it and to obtain stuff from it. Because people were saying, oh yeah, WikiLeaks just released this, WikiLeaks released that. And so I go, where? I can't find it. I'm here on their channel, and it's theirs. It's not the other version that's posing as them. But I don't know. Maybe you got to go through the dark web to look at them. I don't know. Okay, this is the temple text, right? Or is it the handbook? Because it must be the handbook. Yeah. Alright, whatever. I've already obtained the older versions anyway. I've gone back even before 1968. So it was this newer, updated version that I was wanting to obtain that hadn't been able to yet. Alright. Alright, so yeah, I already deleted the got rid of the notifications on the YouTube page. Alright, that's it, and we're over an hour, so I won't bother you with the tallies on this one. We'll do another video for that. I'm dreaming. La da da la 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 la.